I think Cristiano Ronaldo is as good as Messi.
I don't think so. Messi is better than Cristiano Ronaldo. You're crazy. El Chicharito is the best soccer player.
Okay, chicos, let's start this class, yeah? Good morning, good afternoon, one more time, we are here, and today we're going to talk about comparisons, right? Remember, every time we make comparatives, every time we talk about comparatives, we have three different ways to talk about these comparisons, right? We can use, of course, comparatives, we can use superlatives, and of course, we can use as and as. So in this mini class, we are going to remember how to use these comparatives, okay? So wait a minute and let's start the class. Yes? Okay, here we are one more time, yes? And as I told you in the first part, every time we make or we talk about comparisons, we have three different forms. In this case, we are going to talk about as and as. That's the first way we have to compare. So it says, we use as when you are comparing two things that are equal, that are equal. So Juan is as intelligent as Fernando. Semitas are as delicious as tacos. It means semitas and tacos, Fernando and Juan, Remember this. We use as when you are comparing two things that are equal, okay? So, when we use as and as, of course, we have to use adjectives. But remember, in this case, they don't change, right? So we use the normal adjectives, intelligent, delicious, big, tall, and so on, okay? So, we can use as and as in a negative form, but in a negative form, we use not as. So pay attention here. Alcatel is not as good as iPhone. Is not as good as iPhone, okay? So remember this. When we use as and as, we usually use the verb to be. Juan is, semitas are, and pay attention here. So in singular, we say is, right? Juan is, that's singular, but in plural, we use are. So don't forget that. And finally, if you want to use negative, you can use isn't or aren't, okay? So this is the first part, as and as. Okay, what's the second part? We are going to talk about comparatives, but wait a minute. Perfect, okay? Now we have comparatives. And every time we talk about comparatives, it's because we are comparing to things, to ideas, to places, to people, right? But just two. So, the Everest is bigger than Popocatépetl, or Bad Bunny is more handsome than Maluma. I don't know, right? So, when we use comparatives, one more time we use adjectives, but now, yes, they change, right? And we use comparative adjectives. And how do we change these adjectives? So, don't forget that we have four different groups. In the first group, we have adjectives with one syllable, short, tall, big, small. So in this case, we use a. Oh, no. We use error. Okay, sorry. So short, shorter, small, smaller, big, bigger, right? That's the first group. And the second group, we have adjectives that end with y. Happy, ugly, heavy. In this case, we take off the y and we use er. So happy, happier, ugly, uglier, and heavy, heavier. So in the third group, two or more syllables, intelligent, handsome, interesting, right? In this case and in this third group, we don't use these endings, but we use more. More plus an adjective. So I mean more intelligent, more beautiful, more handsome. Remember this example, Bad Bunny is more handsome than Maluma. And one more time, we use the verb to be. In this case, both are singular. The Everest is singular, and Bad Bunny, of course, is just one person. Something important when we use the comparatives, is that we have to use than, especially when you are comparing two things. So here we use than, and here we use than. The Everest is bigger than Popocatépetl, Bad Bunny is more handsome than Maluma. And of course, they are the comparatives. And finally, we have our third comparisons. And we use superlatives, but one more time, wait a minute, and let's do this. Perfect, okay? So now we have superlatives. So when you talk about superlatives, this is different, and we say we use superlatives when you are comparing more than two things. Maybe 3, maybe 4, or yes, more. It says iPhone is the most expensive smartphone, right? Alcatel, Samsung, Huawei, but iPhone is the most expensive smartphone. What about El Huexcomate? El Huexcomate is the smallest volcano. We have the Popocatépetl, the Iztaccíhuatl, the Malinche, we have the Everest, but El Huexcomate is the smallest volcano. One more time, every time we use superlatives, we have to change our adjectives, and one more time, we have 4 different groups. So, one more time, one syllable, short and small. And in this case, with superlatives, we use S. So we say smallest and shortest. What about when you have M or the adjectives end with Y? For example, heavy, ugly, heavy. So we take off one more time that Y and we use yes. So heaviest and ugliest. So in the third group we have 2 or more syllables: intelligent, handsome, beautiful. In this case we use the most plus of course my adjective. So it means the most handsome and the most beautiful, as an example, right? The most expensive smartphone. Okay, so they are the superlatives, and now let's talk about the irregulars. One more time? Okay, wait me a minute. Perfect, okay? So now let's talk about the irregular adjectives. When you use comparatives, when you use superlatives, sometimes we have to use some irregular adjectives, and in this case we have good and bad in both, okay? Let's start with comparatives. In comparatives, every time we use good and bad, they are going to change completely. I mean, when you use good, we don't say gooder. Cristiano Ronaldo is gooder than Lionel Messi? No, that's not correct. They are irregulars, and I told you they change. So I mean, good, they change into better. And of course, bad changes into worse. This is in the case of comparatives. When we use superlatives, one more time with these examples, good and bad, they one more time change. But in this way, with superlatives, we say the best when you talk about good, or we say the bad when you talk about, you say the worst when you talk about bad, yes? And we can use the same example. I can say Lionel Messi is the best soccer player around the world. Okay, chicos, I hope you like this mini class. I hope you can understand this, superlatives, comparatives, and in general comparisons. So I have to say bye and see you in the computer, and I hope to see you soon in the classroom, okay? So, bye!